Hello and welcome to That's Football. We're back with a new week and it's a big week on That's Football, but we'll be talking about that in a minute. Well done to Mo Salah, Player of the Year, talking about that in a minute as well, but we're talking Antoine Griezmann first of all. Is there a possibility that Antoine Griezmann can still join Manchester United this summer? Well, many Manchester United fans, myself included, would say no, but this has been reported in Spain that that Griezmann to Barcelona was always an expected deal, but Messi is the Don of Barcelona and he sort of sanctions big deals. So the story around this is that Messi, he sanctioned the signing of Ousmane Dembele, of Coutinho. He isn't keen on Griezmann coming to Barcelona. And if that closes the door off to Griezmann, or Griezmann is a bit antagonised by that, then Manchester United suddenly becomes back on the table. Now, Griezmann was a signing I thought we were going to make at Manchester United last summer. I felt that it would happen this summer, right up until that absolute bombshell of Alexis Sanchez coming to Manchester United from nowhere. Mourinho has recently come out and said that he had to get Sanchez then. It wasn't the ideal time to do it, but he had to get it then. Would they still be able to get Griezmann? And I suppose when you think about it logically, of course they could. Griezmann's got a very good relationship with Pogba. How good is Pogba's relationship with Mourinho? We'll be talking about that on the United Stand at 1 o'clock, funnily enough. But Griezmann, Manchester United, he was 6 or 7 out of 10 last June before that transfer ban. I still think he'll go to Barcelona. And I don't think he'll come to Manchester United because Griezmann wears number 7 everywhere he goes. And number 7 went to Alexis Sanchez. So it's a bit odd, I suppose, to say that a player isn't going to come because of a number. But I do think it is important to Griezmann. And I think that when United signed Sanchez and gave him the number 7, that killed the Griezmann deal for whatever reason. I think he will go to Barcelona. Would I want Griezmann to come to Manchester United? Personally, he was always the player that I felt that would fit United like a glove. Mid-20s. Perfect sort of number 10, but can play either side. Exactly what United probably needed last summer. But do United need that now? It looks like Mourinho's going with that 4-3-3. There is no number 10 in that. You've basically got Lukaku up front and 2 wide men who swap and come inside with 3 midfielders behind. That doesn't really suit the style of a Griezmann anyway. So I don't think Griezmann's going to come to United. He'd be more than welcome to come to United. I don't think it's going to happen. I still expect him to go to Barcelona or potentially Real Madrid. Dr. Trolley says no Griezmann to United. We've got enough attackers. And is Griezmann really a player Manchester United needs, says Fazan, which is a good point. 3N says he'd take Mahrez over Griezmann. Of course, Anthony Martial probably will leave United. So as a replacement for him, he probably wouldn't be a bad signing. Gary Bennett says we've got Tony Martial at United. Well, we have for now, yeah. Let's talk about Mo Salah, Player of the Year, very, very quickly. I've said this a few times on here. He is Player of the Year. He totally deserves it. I know there's a few people moaning about it today, saying De Bruyne should have got it. On what level should De Bruyne have got it over Mo Salah? I mean, I'm no fan of Liverpool, but I can hold my hands up and say that he has been consistently brilliant in a mediocre team. And I'm not digging Liverpool out there because they are Champions League semi-finalists deservedly. But when you look at their 11, it's not as strong as United's resources or City's or even Chelsea or maybe even Spurs. So Salah's done it in a team that's far inferior to the one that De Bruyne has got. And also, I think I would have given it him anyway, but they recently played each other in 2 legs, home and away. De Bruyne was quiet, Salah was fantastic. So Salah wins it deservedly for me, and I can't move away from that. He thoroughly deserves it. Let's have a quick look at what else is going on in the world of football. Obviously, Arsene Wenger is a big thing at the moment around what he where he's going to be playing, managing, who's going to replace him at Arsenal. You know, I still think it's a bit of an odd one with Wenger, if I'm totally honest. I've got to say, I still think it's a little bit odd. But Hoffenheim manager Julian Nagelsmann has played down reports linking him with Premier League side Arsenal and Chelsea. The safe money, or the clever money, seems to be on Luis Enrique. Very well at Barcelona. You know, Arsenal in the nicest possible way, and I don't think even an Arsenal fan would call me out for this. They're a B-Tech Barcelona, and I would take that as a positive because they sort of want to play in a certain way, and they always have done under Wenger. So Enrique to there would probably make a lot of sense. So Enrique is one that really seems to be being mentioned quite a lot at the moment. And former Brazil international Rivaldo has told compatriot Neymar that he has to leave PSG if he wants to be the best in the world. I mean, that's like, you know, a weatherman telling you it's raining when you're already out in the rain. Neymar has to leave PSG. He went there for money, but it was a mercenary move. And PSG, I mean, you're playing 6 or 7 games a season that matter, and that's if you don't get knocked out like they did by Real Madrid. So that he's got to get away from there. It was an odd move moving from Barcelona, but as we opened the show with, it's quite political there anyway with Messi, and maybe he wanted to move out of that shadow. But Neymar Real Madrid is still a deal I think could happen. Neymar Manchester United, I'd be very, very surprised, but anything can happen. Anything can happen. Tottenham are hoping to keep Pochettino. This devastating weekend if you're a Spurs fan. The thing about football is it can be quite unpredictable, but it can also be quite consistent. And when it comes to Jose Mourinho, he tends to win the games that matter. When it comes to your Spurs and your Arsenal, they get labelled bottlers because time and time again, when the going gets tough, they get knocked out. And I think there'll be disappointment among the Spurs fans that they got knocked out of the FA Cup. They just didn't respond to going 2-1 down. There was no urgency, there was no belief, and I think that's the trouble. When Spurs get to the business end of any tournament, it all falls away. And let's not forget, I've said numerous times that I think over the last 2 years, well, the 2 seasons previous to this one, Spurs were the best team in the league, but they didn't win it. They didn't. Leicester won it and Chelsea won it, and that is a problem that Spurs have got, and it's a problem that Pochettino will have levelled up against him as well. There is also Spurs and Chelsea are tracking Paris Saint-Germain left-back Kurzawa, and Manchester United are also keen on the Frenchman as well. And Benitez is seeking backing from owner Mike Ashley before extending his stay at Newcastle, which itself is quite funny as well, isn't it? Because Benitez was also mentioned with Arsenal as well. Kevin De Bruyne says he feels different as a Premier League winner. Well, it's something around your neck, I suppose. And Sevilla and France midfielder Steven Nzonzi has apologised to the club's fans for partying after his side's 5-0 defeat by Barcelona in the Copa del Rey on Saturday night. Which, to be honest with you, if we'd been on the ball, me and Xander, we probably would have done a watch-along for that. But we didn't. So, yeah, there's nothing more I can say about that. But, yes, interesting week ahead on the United stand for you all anyway. We have got numerous watch-alongs coming up this week. Big week in the world of football. A little bit quiet last week, wasn't it? So we've got Roma versus Liverpool tomorrow night watch-along. I'll be live at midday as normal tomorrow, but Roma versus Liverpool tomorrow night watch-along, Champions League semi-final. Real Madrid Bayern Munich Wednesday, watch along for that, and then Thursday we're doing Atletico Madrid Arsenal watch along. So 3 watch alongs in a row this week. Big games. I think Liverpool will overcome Roma, but I think it's going to be an intriguing game. And Real Madrid Barcelona, Bayern Munich again. I think Real Madrid will overcome it, but you know, Bayern Munich are a bit of an unknown quantity. So really looking forward to those games. And then Arsenal Atletico Madrid. Personally, probably looking forward to that more than any of the ties. Europa League, obviously in the shade of the Champions League, but Griezmann, as we've mentioned, Simeone, is he looking to move? Arsenal trying to send Wenger off in the right way. 3 cracking games this week, and we will be watching along, match chatting them. Do join us for those. So thanks everyone for watching. Do drop a like on the video. Really, every midday, weekday, that's football. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Keep spreading the news and keep getting involved. And I'm live on the United stand if you're interested in that at 1 o'clock, talking these latest Pogba revelations, speaking to the French press, French TV last night, all about Mourinho. So we'll be talking that as well. Thanks for watching. Speak to you all soon.